Of barges in Louisiana are dangerously floating free in the wake of Hurricane Ida. The U.S. Coast Guard says it has received a number of reports of breakaway barges. As many as 30 of the flat-bottom boats were unaccounted for yesterday. A barge is a large boat used to move cargo along a waterway.
And here's a look at some of the devastation in New Orleans. Streets still full of debris. And as you heard Marcelino mention, it is hot, which is making life miserable for the hundreds of thousands still without power. CNN's Darryl Forges live in New Orleans this evening.
Darryl, what's it like in the Crescent City right now?
Yeah, me and Lynn, if you look over my shoulder, you can still see the aftermath from Hurricane Ida. Right now, we know that 5 people have died from Hurricane Ida. And according to the Louisiana National Guard, they say they've rescued so far 359 people. Now here in New Orleans, the biggest concern, of course, is power and also the heat. We've seen temperatures well into the triple digits. That's why the city of New Orleans has sent out food distribution centers, as well as used 70 of their transportation buses as cooling stations for those who desperately need to get out of this heat. They've also used those cooling centers for people to charge up their phones and get some hot food and some water. Not only are we seeing an issue when it comes down to the heat, but right now we're under a flash flood warning until 6 o'clock this afternoon local time. So quite frankly, the people here in New Orleans just cannot catch a break.
Our chief meteorologist telling us the feels like temperature 110 degrees. From the weather to the cleanup, so much to contend with. But Darryl, what are state and local officials doing to get power restored in places like New Orleans as quickly as possible?
Yeah, Mia, they're trying as quickly as they possibly can. So they have 8 transmission lines that light up the city. They're looking at those lines to figure out which ones they can power up as soon as possible. So they could probably look at 2 of those transmission lines or even 3 of those transmission lines and team that up with the generators of the city, and they can get power up and running as soon as they possibly can with that, so people can have power some parts of the city. Because once it gets past 8 o'clock at night, it is just absolutely dark and tough to see, and also very dangerous.
It is really something down there. Darryl Forges detailing the aftermath in New Orleans. Thank you so much.